I used to tell people I just wasn't a haircut person. That was a lie. The truth is I was scared of the chair, because the last 3 cuts I got made me look tired before I even left the salon. If that's you right now, I need you to hear this. The difference between a cut that adds 10 years and one that erases them isn't about your age. It's about 3 specific choices your stylist is making or not making at the chair. Today I'm walking you through 3 cuts that genuinely take years off, and 3 that quietly age you no matter how classic they look. I researched the worst style and beauty mistakes and the best fixes for women over 50, so you get real results fast. If you haven't already, hit subscribe. I cover this every week. Part 1. The cut that actually rebuilds your face. Here's something most stylists never say out loud. Your face doesn't sag with age nearly as much as your haircut just stops fighting for it. Gravity gets blamed for a lot that's really just flat, directionless hair sitting where it lands. The first cut that takes years off is a soft, shattered layered bob that hits right at the jawline. Not a blunt bob. A shattered one, with the ends textured so they move instead of sitting like a helmet. You've probably seen a version of this cut and thought it looked severe on someone else. That's usually because theirs was blunt. Shattered is different. The stylist cuts into the ends at an angle, breaking up the line so it grazes the jaw instead of boxing it in. That grazing motion is what lifts the whole lower face. When hair sits heavy and straight along the jawline, it pulls the eye down and out, which is exactly the visual your jowls don't need help with. When it's broken up and slightly angled, the eye reads movement instead of weight, and movement reads as youth. Here's the mechanism, because I want you to actually understand why this works and not just take my word for it. Your jawline is the last strong line on your face as skin softens elsewhere. A cut that echoes that line, without exaggerating it, reinforces structure. A cut that ignores it, like one-length hair past the shoulders with no shape, lets everything blur together into one shapeless mass. The shattered bob gives your stylist something to work with. Face-framing pieces in the front, a slight undercut layer at the back for movement, and length that stops exactly where your jaw is strongest. I had a client, early 70s, silver hair down past her shoulders for decades. She sent me a photo after her first shattered bob and said, "I forgot I had a neck." That's not vanity talking. That's structure being revealed instead of hidden. The moment you remove the visual weight of length you've been carrying out of habit, not because it flatters you, your neck, jaw, and cheekbones get their definition back. What changes as a result isn't just the silhouette. People start making eye contact with your face again, instead of your hair. That sounds small until you notice how often long, flat hair becomes the first thing anyone sees, and your actual features become an afterthought. A shattered bob puts your face back in the conversation. Now let's talk about the second cut on the embrace list, because it solves a completely different problem. Volume loss at the crown. If you've noticed your part looking wider than it used to, or your hair looking thinner from above even though it feels the same in your hand, that's crown volume loss, and it's one of the most common, least discussed changes after 50. The fix isn't more product. It's a long layered shag, cut specifically to build height and movement right at the root. A shag isn't the choppy, spiky version you might remember from decades ago. Today's version for this age group is softer. Longer layers cut in stacked sections through the crown and mid-lengths, so the hair has somewhere to fall from rather than just hanging straight down under its own weight. The technical reason this works is simple. Flat hair reads thin because there's nothing catching light or shadow at the root. Layered hair creates tiny lifts and valleys across the top of your head, and those lifts are what your eye reads as fullness, regardless of your actual hair density. The snapback moment here is real. This is the cut people mean when they say someone got their hair back. Nobody's hair regrew. The layers just gave what's already their permission to lift. Before, long one-length hair lying flat against a visibly widening part, reading thin and tired. After, a layered shag with movement built at the crown, reading full and alive even at the same length. Up next, I want to show you the cut that's quietly doing the opposite of what you think it is. And it's one almost every woman over 60 has tried at least once. Part 2. The safe cut that's actually aging you. I want to start with the mistake, because I think you'll recognize it immediately. The one-length chin to collarbone bob with zero layering. The one that gets called polished and low maintenance in every salon brochure. is one of the most aging cuts a woman over 60 can wear, and almost nobody tells her that. Here's why it backfires. A completely blunt cut, with every strand ending at the exact same length, creates a hard horizontal line across your jaw and neck. On a 25-year-old face with taut skin, that line reads crisp and graphic. On a face that's softened with time, that same hard line does something different. It draws a straight edge right where your jawline has started to blur, which only emphasizes the blur by contrast. You're essentially framing the exact area you'd rather not spotlight. The fix isn't abandoning the bob. It's asking for face-framing layers that break up that hard line, specifically longer pieces near the front that angle down past the jaw, with the interior layered shorter for movement. This single change, adding motion to an otherwise static shape, is often the difference between a cut that looks dated in 6 months and one that looks intentional for years. There's a deeper reason stylists default to the blunt bob so often, and it's not because it's flattering. It's because it's fast. A one-length cut takes less chair time, requires no texturizing shears, and photographs neat in a portfolio. None of that means it's doing your face any favors. Neat isn't the same as youthful. Neat can actually be the thing aging you, because it removes every soft edge your face benefits from and replaces it with a hard, static line. I had a woman write to me last year saying her stylist told her word for word, "This is the easiest cut for your hair type." She wasn't wrong about the ease. She just never mentioned what it was doing to the face beneath it. That's the gap I want to close for you. Easy for the stylist and flattering for you are two completely different conversations, and you deserve to know which one you're actually having. The snapback here matters. The second you add layering to break that blunt line, people stop noticing she got a haircut and start noticing she looks great, which is the exact reaction you want. Nobody compliments a haircut. They compliment a face. A cut only earns that reaction when it stops competing with your features and starts supporting them. Before, a rigid one-length bob with a hard horizontal edge sitting directly at the softened jawline. After, the same bob with face-framing layers added, breaking the line and letting movement fall past the jaw instead of boxing it in. There's a second version of this same mistake I need to warn you about because it hides in a completely different length, and I promise it's not what you expect. Part 3. Long layers done wrong, and the fringe that fixes everything. The mistake I mentioned hides in long hair, specifically long hair with layers that were cut for a woman in her 30s and never adjusted since. Long layers cut too thin at the ends, the kind that taper down to almost nothing by the tips, leave hair looking stringy and depleted rather than long and healthy. This is different from the one-length problem in Part 2. Here the issue isn't a hard line. It's the opposite. Too little structure at the ends, so the hair loses shape entirely by the time it reaches your shoulders. The technical reason this happens: as hair thins with age, stylists often compensate by removing even more weight at the ends, assuming lighter equals more youthful. It's backward. Thinning hair needs a defined, blunt perimeter at the very bottom, even if the layers above are soft, because that blunt edge is what gives the eye something solid to land on. Without it, the ends just fade into nothing, and nothing reads as fragile, not youthful. The fix is a recut that keeps long layers through the crown and mid-lengths for movement, but squares off the very bottom perimeter into a clean, blunt line. Your stylist keeps the soft internal layering you already have while rebuilding a defined edge at the ends. It sounds like a small technical adjustment. It changes the entire read of the hair, from tired and overgrown to intentional and long. Now for the third cut on the embrace list, and this is the one I get the most messages about, because women are terrified of it for no good reason: a soft curtain fringe. A curtain fringe, parted in the center and swept to either side so it grazes past the temples, does something almost nothing else in a haircut can do at this age. It draws a soft frame directly around your eyes, which naturally lifts and brightens the entire upper face. Most women over 60 avoid fringe entirely because they're thinking of a heavy, blunt, wall of bangs style from decades ago. A curtain fringe is nothing like that. It's soft, it moves, and it's cut long enough that it blends rather than announces itself. Here's the mechanism. As the upper eyelid softens with age, a hard forehead with nothing breaking it up puts the entire visual weight on that lowering eyelid line. A curtain fringe interrupts that expanse of forehead and creates soft movement right above the eyes. which pulls attention up and out rather than letting it settle downward. It's the closest thing to a visual lift a haircut can offer, no procedures involved. A friend of mine, 68, resisted fringe for years because she was scared of committing to bangs. When she finally tried the soft curtain version, she told me the first thing she noticed wasn't her hair at all. It was that her eyes looked more awake in every single photo from that week. That's the real snapback. A cut this small in scope changing something as specific as how alert you look in a candid photo. Before, a bare, exposed forehead with no fringe, putting full visual weight on a softened eyelid line. After, a soft curtain fringe grazing the temples, framing and lifting the eyes. One cut left to avoid, and it's the one I get asked about most often, because it's marketed directly at women our age as the solution. Part 4. The cut marketed as youthful that does the opposite. The final mistake is the short, uniform pixie cut cropped close and even all over with no shape variation. The version that gets handed to women over 60 as the automatic, easy, youthful answer the moment their hair starts thinning. I want to be direct with you. A well-cut pixie can look extraordinary at this age. The problem isn't pixies. It's this specific version, cut without any consideration for face shape or thinning patterns, just short and uniform because someone assumes short automatically means youthful. Here's what actually happens with a uniform pixie on thinning hair. When every section is cropped to the same short length, there's no variation left to disguise sparse areas, particularly at the crown and temples, which are the two spots that thin first. Longer hair can hide thin patches by draping over them. A uniform pixie removes that option entirely, and it also removes the soft framing around the face that longer pieces provide, which means every line and feature is left fully exposed with nothing to soften the transition between hair and skin. The fix is a textured pixie with deliberate length variation. Slightly longer through the crown for lift and coverage, soft side pieces left longer near the temples to frame rather than expose, and only the nape kept truly short. This isn't the same haircut with a different name. It's an entirely different approach, built around what your hair is actually doing rather than a generic template. I want to give you the real reason this matters beyond aesthetics. A pixie is one of the least forgiving cuts there is, because there's no length left to correct a bad decision at the chair. If it's wrong, you're living with it for months while it grows out. That's exactly why this one deserves more thought than let's just go short, not less. The stylists doing this well are asking about your face shape, your natural hair growth pattern, and where you're thinning before they touch the shears. The ones handing out uniform pixies as a default usually aren't. A woman in my community, just turned 66, told me she'd gotten 3 uniform pixies over 2 years from 3 different stylists, and each time she felt like she looked older walking out than she had walking in. Her 4th pixie, the textured version with length at the crown and temples, was the first time she said she recognized herself as still her, just sharper. That's the difference between a template and a cut built for your actual head. Before, a uniform, evenly cropped pixie with no length variation, exposing thinning patches at the crown and temples. After, a textured pixie with length built at the crown and softer pieces framing the temples, disguising thinning and softening the face. You now know exactly which 3 cuts build structure back into your face, and exactly which 3 quietly work against you no matter how safe or easy they're marketed as. That's not a small thing to walk away with. Most women never get this explained to them at all. Tell me in the comments. Which one of these 6 cuts is closest to what you're wearing right now? The shattered bob, the curtain fringe, or one of the 3 to avoid? Next week I'm breaking down the exact words to say to your stylist so you actually get the cut you're asking for, not their default. Like this video, subscribe to Timeless Wisdom Path, and I'll see you in the next one.